Okay, so it is day 13, and it is Tuesday, June, what's the day? Is it the 17th? Gosh, Tuesday, June 17th. That is crazy. So yesterday we looked at, let's see, here's a couple of things that we did. We were looking at regular polygons, area, perimeter, things like that. But today, now we're going to look at a shape that doesn't fit into the category of a polygon. Circles. Circles are a very unique shape, and there's a few things that we're going to talk about regarding circles. So I've given you all this handout that is basically your notes done for you. So you won't have to do as much note writing today because I've got it all here for you. So as you can see, this is a circle. A circle has a center point where every single point on the outer edge of that circle is the same distance from the center. And that creates that circle shape. So there's a few different terms that we will talk about. Just like yesterday we talked about area and perimeter, you can also find the area of a circle. So I've colored in my circle to show that the area is this space that's colored in here. It's where the circle is taking up space. And here's the formula for area. We're going to learn about a fancy new number called pi, spelled like this, P-I. That's how we spell pi. Not the pie you eat, but, yeah. So pi is a number that we have kind of built into our calculators. Good morning. And I'm going to show you where that is on your calculator. And Kiana, we're going to use the yellow ones today. So on your yellow calculator, we're going to go ahead and hit the on button. And everybody should have a screen that looks like this. You've got a little dark blinking rectangle in the upper left-hand corner. Now, one thing I want to show you about these calculators versus the small ones we've been using is when you type something in, for example, I don't know, 56 minus 3. When I hit enter, you can see the answer and you can see what you typed before. So you don't have to play a guessing game of did I type it in correctly to get the right answer. These are really nice. So we're going to start using these today. But we're going to talk about pi first. So this little fancy symbol, pi, is on your calculator. And it is, let me make this a little bit less blurry so we can see. If you look right, oh my goodness, here. Okay, you see we have 4 arrows here. Right below the 4 arrows, there's a button that says clear. Right below clear, we can see pi. It's really teeny tiny, it's blue, and it's above the arrow button. To get pi to show up on this calculator, we will hit the second button. So hit second, and you'll see an arrow pop up on your screen. Once the arrow pops up, we hit the up arrow. Right here under clear. Push it. Look at that. There's pi. Now, if you want to see what number pi is, just hit enter. 3.141592654, and it actually continues forever. This is what we would call an irrational number because it never ends and it goes on like a repeating decimal does. So instead of, we can't really put a bar over it because there's no, it's not like 3.11111. every number is different, but somehow it goes on infinitely. So somebody came up with this little pi symbol, and it works really well for circles. So this is pi, 3.14159.
How did somebody come up with that?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I wonder the same thing. It just comes about somehow. It's very interesting. But this is pi, and it's not a bad idea to maybe make a little note on your paper that to type in pi, remember we're going to do that second button, so I'm going to make a note of this. 2 in the second, that's the first button we push. And then we push the up arrow. Like that. So I can do it one more time right here. Second, up arrow under clear. There's pi again. And now we have pi. Good morning. Okay. So, just know that pi exists. Whenever you see that funky little term, that's what it's called, pi, and that's how we type it on our calculator. Second, up arrow. So let's talk about a few of the things I do have written on this page. So we learned about area yesterday, and to find the area of a circle, we will use the pi button, then we will use the radius of the circle, which will be given to you. So if you bring your attention to the red line or pinkish line right here, this is the radius. The radius is the distance, good morning, from the center to the outer edge. And it's the same length all the way around the circle. It's just from the middle to the edge. That radius could be drawn anywhere in the circle, okay? And yeah, that's the radius. Now, the other measurement we'll be messing with is called the diameter. Now, the diameter goes from one end of the circle through the center to the other end. It basically measures the width, or like the height of the circle. So it just measures from one edge to the other, going through the middle. Now, the diameter and the radius, the way that they are related is that the diameter is 2 times the radius. So the radius is half the diameter. Okay? So I am going to pull out a piece of paper, and it's great to see all of this put together, but sometimes it helps to bring together that connection by drawing some things yourself. So I would like for you all to get a piece of paper or your notes, however you decide to do it. And I'm just going to title this page Geometry Unit 4. Uh-oh, we're in a new unit. Page 1. This is day 13 notes. Okay, so once you have your page somewhat titled, I would love for everybody to, the best of your ability, it does not have to be perfect, we're going to draw a circle. Now, if you really want it to be perfect, we could use, this might be a good day to use these. we could use these. Have you guys ever seen a tool that looks like this? Yes, a protractor. If you would like to use a protractor today, there's a bunch of them up at the front of the room on the shelf. So how about everybody, let's get you a protractor. I want to show you how to use this for circles. Up at the front of the room, there is a bin full of them. Grab yourself a protractor. Oh, that could work too. That would be perfect. You could also use a compass. Wait a minute. This is a compass. Not a protractor. I'm thinking I always mix the two up. I mix the two up. Thank you. These are called compasses. Guys, I'm not in my right mind today. I'm sorry. So, just to show you on a separate page, I'll wait till everybody has one. I'll give everybody a minute. Let me just pause this recording for a second. Okay, so I am correcting myself. This is a compass or a compass. Some people say it differently. And it's basically a circle maker. The pointy part is the center. So we are going to start by taking the point and placing it on the page. And from there, I like to hold the pencil and I like to turn the paper rather than my hand. So I'm going to use that point. Do not move the point from where it is. And I'm going to turn my whole paper and try to keep your compass opened at the same width the whole time as best as you can. It's tricky. Okay. It's a circle. Yes.
I don't know if these do, but some compasses have the knob on the side where you can tighten stuff.
I don't know that these do have that. These were
No, but I guess
affordable compasses. So they're not too fancy. But if anybody does figure out how to tighten them, let me know. I'd be interested. Maybe this tightens. Yeah, they get the job done. I wonder if this, I'm scared I'm going to break it. Now, let me do this off camera. Yeah, I don't know if that, I don't think that did anything. I don't know. But this is basically just so if you want a more precise looking circle, you can use a compass. Oops. You can make all kinds of circles. Wow, that is not very easy to use. Sorry. Sorry, guys.
unless you're making big ones.
Yeah. It's just some of them, like this one's kind of loose. It just, when they're tighter, they work better. I broke it, I think. It's fine. Now let's see. I'm going to take it here. I'm going to try to make another circle. Okay. There we go. That's not too bad. Circle. We made circles. So if you want to use a compass to make your circles a little more precise in your notes, go for it. Be my guest. I personally think I'm going to eyeball my circles just because I struggle with these a little bit. But go right ahead if you feel so inclined. So let's go back to the notes I was giving you. Okay, so day 13, I drew a circle. And what I want you to label on this circle is, first we want to give a rough idea of the center. So I'm just going to draw a little point approximately in the middle. So this is the center. And we are going to start with a line that goes straight through the middle from one side to the other, like that. According to the handout you got, what would this line measure? The diameter. Yes, the diameter. So let's label this as the diameter. Okay, a great way to remember that this is the diameter is whenever you make this line, you'll notice that it kind of forms what looks like the letter D for diameter. So that might help. Now, let's label our radius. Your radius is half of the diameter. So if I start from the middle, I could just draw a line straight down and you can see that this is half of the diameter. I'm going to draw it slightly over to the side just so that it doesn't cover up my diameter, like this. Okay. This measurement is the radius. Radius, we use a lowercase r. Diameter, we use a capital D. Yeah. Okay. Now, there is another thing on here that I drew in orange. This line. This is called a chord. We're not going to use that in this unit, just because we just don't have time to cover it. But a chord is basically just a line that goes through the circle, not in the center. So I introduced it to you. You see it now. All right, so we are going to use these different measurements to find area. So first thing we're going to do now that we have this labeled is I'm going to write the area formula. And that is A equals pi r for radius squared. Pi times radius squared. When you type this in your calculator, you can type it in just like this. You don't have to hit the multiplication symbol. And I'm going to give you an example. So, let's say we have a circle. I'm going to say, what is the area of the circle? And for the first one, I'm going to tell you that the circle has a radius of 10.3 inches. I've given you a radius. All we need is a radius. How could I use this radius to find the area with our formula? Does anybody have an idea? We're just going to plug it in. Absolutely. So I'm going to rewrite my formula, and instead of R, I have R. R is 10.3. So here's how we'll do that. I'm going to write A for area equals pi, instead of R, 10.3 squared. I'm just plugging that in. So plug it in. And here's how we type that. Make sure your calculator is on. And we'll practice typing pi again. It's the second button in that up arrow under clear. So we have pi. Then all I have to do is type 10.3. And we have a squared button too. It says x with a little 2x squared kind of diagonally from the 7. We'll click that and see how I have it typed in. Pi 10.3 squared. And I want to make sure everybody knows how to type that in before we go on. When you hit enter, you'll get your answer. That's all you have to do to find the area. You just need the radius and you just type it in. That's the area. Circles can be really easy when we have calculators. Calculators are nice. Okay, so I want everybody to make sure that they can type this in and get this answer, 333.29. Give me a thumbs up when you got that. Good, good, good. Good, good, good. Okay, so I'm going to write over here my answer, 333.29. And what would my units be? Inches squared. Even though it's a circle, we still use squared because we don't have a circled term. That'd be kind of cool if we did. But that's the area. We just found it. Is anybody having trouble getting that typed in properly? Okay. Well, let's do another one then. This one I want you to try typing in on your own. I want you to now find the area of a circle that has a radius of 28.75 inches. Find the area of the circle with this radius. So I'm going to go ahead and write area equals. Now, if you think that you've got this typed in correctly and you know how I should do it, raise your hand when you think you've got that. And I want you to tell me how to do it. Amber, how do I do this?
What you're going to do is you're going to push the second button on the calculator.
Okay. Got it.
And then you're going to hit the arrow where it shows the pi symbol.
Perfect.
And then type in 28.75.
Okay.
And then you're going to hit the square button.
Perfect. Okay, and square button's right here. Okay, so pi 28.75 squared. Enter. There we go. That's our answer. 2,596.72. Ah.
Would .723 be wrong?
No. That would be correct still. Absolutely. That would just be rounding up and it would be more accurate than the answer I gave. So you're even more right. That's good. So I'm going to write what we typed in. We typed in pi 28.75 squared. And our answer was 2596.72. What are my units? Inches squared. Good. Very good. Good. Okay. So, simple enough. We can type that in. Here's where we go one step further. For our third example, now I'm not going to give you the radius. What if I give you the diameter instead? This time, I want you to find the area of a circle where the diameter is 22 inches. Now, if I give you the diameter instead of the radius, can we use 22 in our formula the same way that we've been using the radius? No. What are we going to have to do? Erica?
Divided by 2, so that's 1.
Yes. So we learned that the diameter is all the way across the circle. The radius is only halfway across. So if I know the diameter is 22 inches, that's this blue length. To get the radius, I need half of the diameter. I need to divide by 2. So let's write a little note down here. This is the diameter. I need to solve for the radius first. Now the radius is half of the diameter, or we could say diameter divided by 2. So all I would need to do here, just like Erica said, basically you're plugging in the 22 for D, and we're doing 22 divided by 2. And that gives us the radius. So I'm going to do that exactly as we said. Radius equals, the diameter was 22 divided by 2. And what does that mean our radius is? 11. So we have our radius. Now that we have our radius, how can I find the area? Multiply what?
The radius and the radius and the meter.
The meter.
Answer, multiply both answers.
So 11 is our answer for radius. What's the other answer you're talking about?
Oh, so that's our answer for radius.
Oh, so we have, so I'm asking the area of these 3 different circles. And for number 3, so like, and then 1 and 2 we're done. Number 3, we were given a diameter, but to find area, we need radius. So we just solved for radius. Now that we have a radius, how do I find area? Yeah. Yeah, we have radius. So now we can use the area formula.
Okay, so you just want it back.
Yeah. We just now use the formula again. So I'm going to write that A equals, and now that I have R, I can plug 11 into the formula. A equals pi 11 squared. That's not too bad. And let's see, what do we get as our answer?
3.12.
Yes, 380 point, I'm going to say 13 inches squared. That's our area. So the biggest thing to keep in mind is to find area, we have to have the radius. We need to know that half length. If we don't have radius, we have to find it first. So keep this formula in mind. This is for area. Area formula. Okay. So far, do we have any questions about what we just did?
Can we maybe do one more of those?
Yes, absolutely. I think we just got to do some repetition. Does anybody still need to see this before I move it? I can absolutely keep it up for a minute. Are we good to go on? Okay, I'm going to turn my page and let's do some practice. So I'm just going to title this again, Geometry Unit 4, page 2. Day 13. Notes continued. Okay. So I'm just going to rewrite my area formula so I don't have to keep flipping back and forth on my pages. I have area equals pi radius squared and remember, if we need to solve for radius, we can put radius equals, you can either write it as I have it on this note page, it's radius is half of the diameter, but you could also just say diameter divided by 2. I had some people that were a little confused by how do I type this fraction in. You can just type divide by 2, okay? So if we don't have the radius, we're going to divide the diameter by 2. So I'm just going to write that in. D for diameter divided by 2. So there's the two formulas we're kind of using here. And I'm going to find the area. For each circle. And we'll give a few more examples here. And we're going to go through these first two again, and then I want to give you a bunch to try on your own. So for number 1 on this next page, I want to find the area for the circle with a diameter of 38.2 inches. How would I set this problem up, and what would I need to do first? Any ideas? Yes, Kiana.
38.2 divided by 2.
Yes. Why are we doing that?
To find the radius.
Yes.
Radius.
Yes. We have a diameter. We can't use that. We need to find the radius first. So we need to divide this by 2. And 38.2 divided by 2, 19.1. So now I have a radius. This is my radius. So now that I have a radius, can I find the area? I can. What do I do? Plug it in. That's it. Area equals pi 19.1 squared. And we just type it all in. Pi 19.1 squared. So that's what it looks like as I'm typing it in. Pi 19.1 squared. I didn't type any multiplication symbols. You can, but it's just extra buttons that you don't have to push. I'm going to hit enter. And I got 1,146.08. Okay, so that would be my area. 1,146.08 units. Inches squared. Good. Okay. So the main thing to be paying attention to is, have I been given the radius already, or do I need to solve for the radius first? Yes.
I noticed with these notes that there's no calculation for doing circumference directly. They go through radius first. Is there no way to calculate that directly?
From area to circumference directly, or vice versa. Off the top of my head, I don't know, but I'm sure there is a way. I would just need to sit down and kind of look at the two formulas. So maybe whenever I've got these problems written out and you guys are working on them, maybe I can play around with that and see if I can get you an answer.
Sorry.
No, Erica, you got to quit apologizing, because I love your questions. They're awesome. I'm curious about this stuff too. You make me think. I like it. Okay, so that was number 1. Let's do this last one together, and then I want you to try a bunch by yourself. Okay. Number 2, we have a radius of 55.3 inches. How do I find the area?
Divide by 2.
Divide by 2?
Divide 55.3 by 2.
Divide which? 55.3 divided by 2?
Yeah.
So let's see. If I already know the radius,
Oh, okay.
ah,
So is that what we're just gonna do? Pi times 55.3?
yes, yes, perfect. We only divide by 2 if we don't have the radius yet and we need to solve. Yes. So only divide by 2 if we have diameter. So for radius, we're just going to plug it in. So I'm going to write my area equals, and what am I writing or typing in? Second pi 55.3 squared. Enter. And we get a big number. 9,607.27 inches squared. And that's our answer. All right. So I'm going to give you guys a couple. Pay attention to whether you're starting with the diameter or you're starting with the radius. And we'll go over these together after I give you some time to try them on your own. But let's see, for number 3, I'm going to give you a radius of 108.5 inches. Number 4, a diameter of 262 inches. A diameter of 28.6 inches. And a radius 12.3 inches. Okay, so I want you now to find the area of the 4 circles described here. Feel free to work together with each other, you know, look and see if you guys are getting the same answers, talk about these things. Working together is a great way to learn. That's why I moved your tables, guys. You can see each other better. So I'm going to pause our recording for a minute, and I'm going to have you guys work on that, and then we'll go over these together. And then Erica, I'm going to play around with that idea you gave me and see if I can figure it out. And so you've had a few minutes to try these on your own. Number 3, we're going to find the area of a circle with the radius 108.5 inches. How would I do that? Lisa, how do I do it?
You're going to do A equals 5 times,
Yeah.
Yep.
180.5 inches
108.5. You got it.
squared.
Squared. Perfect. Okay, so I'll type that in.
That's a lot.
Hey, it is kind of a lot all at once. We're saying numbers that sound like food. We're
I'm hungry now. Thank you.
right. So pi 108.5 squared. And I got 36,983.61. Is that what you got? Yes. Okay. So I'm going to write that down. That's my area. 36,983.61 inches squared. Excelente. Bless you.
We can't put inches on top of them.
Inches on top of what?
A equals pi up there.
So like A equals pi 108.5 squared. Oh, so you don't want to put inches before you're squared yet because we're not in units yet. We're actually squaring that number 108.5.
I would definitely.
I mean, if you wrote inches squared, we just don't want to forget to square that. I mean, if you're not going to forget, it doesn't bother me none. But technically, I would wait till the end. Erica?
I guess the calculators take where you place pi and get for if it's before or after the number because I
Yes.
do 1,070. So.
Now, do you know why it makes a difference where you put pi? So let me tell you, if we have it written like this, pi times 108.5 squared, we're doing 108.5 is the number that's getting multiplied by itself. That is getting squared. And with the order of operations, the squared comes first. If I put pi squared at the end, then I'm only doing 108.5 times 3.14 times 3.14. So it will give you a very different answer. So that's a great thing to bring up. The order does matter. You got to put pi first. Good observation there. Okay. Any questions, concerns, anything about number 3, or we got that? We got that? Okay. Let's look at number 4. I want to know the area of a circle that has a diameter of 262 inches. Where do I need to begin here? Rhonda?
262 inches divided by 2.
Yes, we need to start by dividing by 2. Now, can you tell me, Rhonda, why are we dividing by 2 instead of putting it in the formula?
Because we already have the diameter.
Yes, we're given a diameter. We need to find the radius. Then we can solve. Okay, so 262 divided by 2, what does that give us?
131.
131. That is the radius. Okay, so we've done that. So what do we do now?
Only plug it in.
Yes, we plug it in. Area equals pi 131 squared. Let's see, second up, 131 squared. Okay, and I got 53,912.87.
I did not.
What'd you get? What'd you get?
I got 94869,604.
Do you have your calculator where you can see what you typed in to get that answer?
I've already cleared it.
Okay, so if you clear your calculator, there is a way to get it back. I'll show you.
Okay.
So I'm going to clear mine. There's a memory button. Now, if I can remember where it is, that's the name of the game. I'm looking for mem. At the bottom? Ah, okay, so if you lose what you typed and you want to see it again, you hit the second button, the blue button. Go down to the plus sign where it says mem. When I click that, you're going to get this list, memory. There's about, memory management, clear entries, archive, maybe unarchive, number 6. I'm scared I'm going to do something bad. I'm going to hit enter and see if that works. Nope. Okay, well maybe let me try this again. Second, memory, and I'm just going to hit enter. Oh. Well, obviously, oh no. Obviously I need to read up on how to use this a little more. So, Rhonda, I don't know how to get the memory back. If anybody figures it out, let me know. I know there's a way to do it. Maybe hit the up arrow. Yes, just hit the up arrow. Like you can scroll up. Can you push this up arrow, Rhonda, and it might just scroll up to what you typed before? Does it show it?
It's saying error.
Now keep hitting the up arrow. Can you see numbers?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so I wanted to know, whenever I typed in pi 131 squared, I got that 53,912. And you got a different number. Can you see what you typed in to get that different number for number 4? Okay.
Okay, here we go. I typed in pi. Where did I type in 28? Wait a minute, hold on, this is great.
Maybe that was for number 5, because there is a 28 for 5. I don't know.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Square 262. I guess I'll put the square 662.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a dash. 2. Square.
So maybe that's when you got your radius, the 262 divided by 2, maybe?
I don't need that. Yeah, I got 132.
133?
Wait, hold on. But my answer, I got 131.
Okay, and that's correct for your radius.
And then,
Yeah, because we found the radius first, and now we're plugging the radius into the formula. We should be typing pi 131 squared.
and I think I just done like 131 squared.
Oh, that might have been it. That might have been it.
Yeah,
So
I see.
let's, if you didn't get that, anybody else too, go ahead and type pi 131 squared and make sure you get that 53912.87, 53,912. That's what you should get.
So I just need to go all the way back.
Yeah, you can just arrow down to the bottom, or you can hit clear a bunch and it should let you type again.
It's not letting me out.
Okay, here. Hit your down arrow until you get to where the box doesn't have anything highlighted. And then I can clear.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. So now, did you read that as 267? Is that why? Okay, yeah. It was 262, so that's okay. That's okay.
So, okay, now I'm at 131.
Perfect. Okay, so now we're going to take that 131 in the area formula. So, second pi 131 squared. Enter.
Man, I got that.
Good, good. Okay, so I'm going to write that answer.
I missed the step, I guess.
Oh, we figured it out. That's good. 53,912.87 inches squared. That is the area for number 4. Okay. Who's got number 5? Yes, Kiana.
So you have G equals 28.6 inches.
Mm-hmm.
Divided by 2.
Yes.
Find the radius,
Divide by 2 to find the radius.
which is 14.3
Good. Radius is 14.3.
inches.
14.3 inches.
Plug that into the area formula, which is A equals pi 14.3 squared.
Perfect. So we solved for radius, and now we're going to plug radius into the formula. Pi 14.3 squared.
Which will give you an answer of 642.42 inches squared.
642.42. Perfect. 642.42 inches squared. That is for number 5. Good. Okay. All right. Questions on 5? Or do we got it? Who's got 6? Joseph.
475.29 inches squared.
Ooh, okay, so that's the answer. 470, say it again. Sorry. 475.29 inches squared. And how'd you get that?
Took a pi times 12.3 squared.
Perfect. Pi times 12.3 squared. So I'm going to just double check, type it in. Second pi 12.3 squared. Yep, I got the same thing. 475.29 inches squared. Awesome. Okay, nice job, guys. Very nice. All right. So that is finding the area of a circle. It's not so bad, is it? Not terrible. It's just getting used to what numbers go where, when to divide by 2, when to just plug it in. And you know, we always get better with practice. Now, it is 10:26. Here's my thought. If you want to step out, take a break, bathroom, drink, you're so more than welcome to. I'm thinking we do a very short break today so we can get out earlier, because I really just want us to do a couple practice problems on circumference next, and then I'll give you an exit ticket and let you go. Okay? So if you would like to take a short break, do all of that, you are more than welcome. I'm going to say we're going to start right back up in about 5 minutes. No, about 10:31, okay? 5 minutes. Just a short one today. Okay, so we are back from our short little break here, and we've been talking about area a whole bunch. So we're going to go now to circumference. Circumference is basically the perimeter of a circle. It's given a different name. Why? I'm not totally sure. Maybe circumference just sounds more circly. I don't know. But it does have a different name. It's the same concept though. It is the length all the way around the circle, the outside of the circle. And we have a formula for that. Circumference can be found by either taking 2 times pi times the radius, or we can do pi times diameter. So we can use diameter or radius for circumference. There are 2 different formulas. Now, let's make a little note about circumference. So I'm going to just title this page real quick. Geometry. Unit 4. Page, what is this, 3? Day 13. Notes continued. Okay, so now we're going to do circumference, and on the last page I want to kind of format this similarly. A equals, okay, so we're going to write now C equals, now we're doing circumference, and the 2 different formulas for circumference are either 2 times pi times the radius, so 2 pi r, and on your calculator you can type it in just like this. You don't have to type the times button, just 2 pi, whatever your number is for r. Or if we don't have radius, we can also use the diameter. Circumference can also be just pi times diameter, pi d. Now, where's my blue? There it is. And I'm just going to write a little note. Both formulas can be used to find circumference. So, examples. I'm going to say find the circumference of each circle. And for number 1, I'm going to give you a circle with a radius of 283.6 inches. Diameter is 45 inches. Three. 2.1 inches. And 4. Let's do a radius of 12 inches. Okay, so I'll give us a minute to copy that down. Okay. Does anybody still need another minute to copy these before we go over the first one? Okay, let's go ahead and look at number 1. For number 1, which formula am I going to use? The one on the top or the one on the bottom? The top. The top formula is 2 pi r. 2 times pi times the radius. Number 1 gives me the radius, so I better use that formula. So let's just do exactly what we've been doing for area, but with a different formula. C equals 2 pi, and we're going to plug in the number for r. 283.6. And I'm going to use a different color because that's going to help us see what we did later. 283.6. I'm going to type that in. 2 pi 283.6. Now don't square it. You should get 1,781.91. Give me a thumbs up when you got that on your calculator. Good. Awesome, awesome. Is anybody having trouble getting that on their calculator? Did you get it, Rhonda?
Nope.
What did you get?
Oh, that's a fish. 8, 9, and 6, 7, 6.
What did you type in to get that? Did you type 2 pi 283.6?
I thought it did.
Let me see your screen. I'm going to take a look at it.
Now your pi button. Now for pi is 7.
You're okay. Don't be sorry. We're learning. This is what it's all about. Okay, so once you've typed it in, you should get a circumference of 1781.91. Now, circumference is like perimeter. It's a length. So what would our units be? Inches squared covers area. Length will just be inches. Inches. Okay. So that was number 1. Now for number 2, are we going to use the same formula? No. If I do 2 pi 45, that's not a radius. We should use the diameter formula because we're given a diameter. So circumference equals pi 45. Okay. And when you've got that typed in, tell me, what do you get?
141.37.
Yes, 141.37 units. Inches. Good. 141.37 inches. You guys getting that? Good. Okay, I would like for you to try 3 and 4 on your own. Pay attention to whether you're given a diameter or a radius, and that will decide which formula you use. Okay, so try 3 and 4 on your own. If you finish those, I'm going to give you 2 more before we go over them. Okay, so I'm going to pause my screen for a minute. Okay, so for number 3, what answer did we get? You can shout it out.
6.597 inches.
6.597 inches. Did anyone get something different? I'm going to write down the formula. We're going to be using that second one because we have diameter. Pi times diameter. So circumference equals pi times 2.1. And that should give you, I'll type it and get that again, second pi 2.1. 6.5973445 blah blah blah. I would take 6.597, I would take 6.60, I would take 6.6. Any of those would be just fine. So I'm going to write 6.597 or 6.60. Really up to you guys. I'm good either way. 6.597 inches for number 3. Okay. For number 4, we have a radius. Are we using the formula on top or bottom? If we have a radius. Yeah, we got to use the top one. Since we have radius, we want to use the formula that has the radius in it. Yeah, that's okay. So I'm going to write C equals 2 pi, and instead of r, 12. So, bless you, say 2 pi. 2 pi 12 should give you 75.398, or you could say 75.40. 75.398 inches. Okay. That's number 4. And we're going to run through 5 and 6 real quick too, just so we have them all down. If anybody had different answers or didn't get the same thing, you're welcome to let me know and we can talk about it. So number 5, we have a radius again. So we need to use the radius formula. C equals 2 pi. Instead of r, 125. Okay. So I'm going to type that in, 2 second pi 125, and I got 785.398. I'm going to write that down. Let me know if you get something different. 785.398 inches.
I did, but I forgot the 2.
You forgot the 2. I gotcha. That's the only thing to remember there, is if you give the radius, we got to times 2. If there's a diameter, you don't have to. That's the only difference there. That's okay. As long as you're able to see what you missed, that means you learned. You learned something. Okay.
They're right.
That's right. And the very last one here, number 6. This time we have a diameter of 38.3. So, how will I type that into my calculator?
Pi 38.3.
Perfect, just pi 38.3. And that should give us 120.32. Or if you're doing 3 decimal places, because I know we did on the last few, it'd be 323. I'm just going to write 32 inches. Okay, so there's the answers to those problems. Before I show the exit ticket on this video, does anybody have questions about any of these? How do we feel? We feel okay? All right. So I have passed out your exit ticket. There are 2 questions, but within each question there's 2 calculations. You're going to find the area and the circumference of each circle. Pay attention to if you're given a radius or a diameter. Number 1, you're given a radius. Number 2, you are given a diameter. I'm going to work these out at my desk, so if you want to check your work before you go, I will let you know when I have that answer key ready. But once you finish this, you're free. You may leave. If you want to check how many absences you have left before you go, you're welcome to come up and check, and I can give you that number. But that is it today.